Well, people, it is Monday. Happy Monday. And man, let's say it together. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. I just did this video less than an hour ago. Wow. Now. Why now? New Jack City raid, Philadelphia, 10-year operation. And I thought everything was going fine. All of a sudden I get a notification with this yellow here. See that yellow? Add suitability. Basically, when you get that, you ain't making no money. I'm like, so what did I do wrong in this video? Because other content creators are running this video with all the bells and whistles just like I did. Pearson, you're not like them. The devil is the algorithm judging the world. So I had to be careful. So I'm going to redo this video, people. And I'm going to take down the one you saw. I apologize, but look, I've been running around the last 3 days, as you guys well know. And I'm about to go fall out somewhere. Taking care of family issues. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Sometimes you got to sacrifice, just like Jesus did. So I want to play for you this video because I called it a New Jack City raid, Philadelphia, 10 years operation. I figure that if I run the video without running videos of what happened in Philadelphia, then I'll get monetized. So let's go. People, I had no idea when I produced this video this afternoon. Trump, we have to save Chicago immediately. Why now? I had no idea that what I said, what I was predicting to happen in these streets, Chicago in particular, and dealing with the drugs and the gangs, I had no idea this had already taken place. FBI indicts dozens of Philadelphians on these charges right here. The charges come as part of a years-long investigation into the Philadelphia gang, years long. What if I told you this was 10 years? This is 10 years, people. In this video, I told you guys who I used to work alongside with back in the day. And I knew that in these big cities, the documentation, the intel that the police have in all of our big cities, that now, for such a time as this, it's time to pounce. I am so eager to bring this video to you. It's just, people, please, get your loved ones, tell them to get on the straight and narrow, because the Antichrist doesn't want any resistance. I've said this in different ways before, depending on what the subject matter is. Satan wants no resistance. They're going to create this NWO, and they're striking at the core of many of these problems. And you know as well as I do, street gangs and drugs have been with us forever. And I've said it was allowed to happen. Millions, if not billions of dollars. It was Tricky Dick Nixon who said, I'm going to have a war on drugs. Put that in the comment section if you're old enough to remember that. You guys who are my age, you know, back in the day. Let's see. Nixon's war on drugs, what year? 1971, Nixon said that. And you know, it's arguably gotten worse. That's what he said, the president. His war on drugs. 1971. 55 years ago, give or take. This is where we're at. More than 24 people have been indicted, they say, on DRUG-related charges as part of a years-long investigation into a gang in Philadelphia. Look at that. The cocoa. I'm in love with the cocoa, right? The 50 and the H was sold in Kingston area in one of the most prolific drug blocks in the city from January 2016 to October 2025. I said in this video, they had the data. You have to ask yourself, why are they striking now? It's easy to say, well, Joe Biden and other presidents, they didn't have the spine. People, that's not it. Satan get off on creating situations, okay? How many people have died? How many people have injured? How many people have lost their mind, lost their house, lost their car, lost their loved ones, lost communities? Not just in black and brown, but throughout the United States, this vein. And you want to tell me Tricky Dick came out in 1971 and now they're in the hood? It's just getting started, y'all. It is just, I'm telling y'all, because I know what time it is. These are the end times. This is a power move. They know that these gangs and the drugs go hand in hand. They have allowed these things to exist to terrorize our communities, holding our neighborhoods hostage. Many senior citizens and people don't even shop in the neighborhood because of the drug traffic. You know what I'm saying? They go out to the malls and make them rich in the suburbs. That's what happens here in the city. But why now? I'm telling you, it's a power grab. The government started doing dispensaries for marijuana years ago, and trust me, they're the new kingpin. And now you're seeing, I coin it phase 2 of the operation. They don't want them to have any guns, any money. They know these people are street smart. They know many of them will go down with a fight. So they came to Philadelphia.
And what I want to interject here, because I'm going to show you guys some of the comments that were made in relation to this video, which again, I got to take down because I'm basically not getting paid. So I'm redoing the video. People, this was a strategic plan. You can go in any major city, and like a girlfriend I dated decades ago, her brother was on that stuff. And she said her brother always told her, it don't matter what city I'm in, I will find the DRUG house. Do you hear me? So there are places in big cities, which in my humble opinion, that were allowed basically in poor neighborhoods. Just do the research, y'all. The sale of these illegal, you know what, and for the violence to continue. It doesn't mean it didn't happen in suburbs. Every now and then you would hear about somebody who OD'd or somebody who got unalived in a big deal. But 99% of that stuff, it's in the big cities, y'all. You have to ask yourself, why? This thing was strategically mapped out. Do you understand? I've thought it through. I've had 40-something years to look at this thing. This thing was strategically mapped out so that they put X amount of people in charge, bringing in these DRUGs, and then they selling them, and it was allowed to destroy our community. In fact, I told you guys about a month ago, and I've said it even sooner, that this was the economy that was created for the lost or specific minorities. Instead of the government honoring what God did in Genesis, be fruitful and multiply, I have given you talents so you can work by the sweat of your brow, because everybody has a gift. You follow me? And the government knows, the powers know that if they set up a system which is negative, like DRUGS, they know there will always be a percentage that will keep the police busy, the investigators busy, the courts busy, building prisons, you understand? All the way down the line. But the way they craft it, they have it by and large only in certain communities. And that's a design. So let me go, because somebody, set up, a little curse word up in here. Here they said, you must be, person said, The person says, "You keep talking blank about Trump. Now are you convinced he is helping the people?" This is what happens when people either don't listen to the whole video or don't soul search their conscience and understand history in terms of how we got here. The video showed when I ran these videos, you can go on YouTube, type it in. They monitored these sales of these illegal, you know what, for over 10 years. You gotta really start using your head, okay? How many people died during that period? Think about what I'm saying. Now you're telling me, all of a sudden Trump's the hero? Come on, man, not the damn hero. Like the person said, you must be new. Trump is following the script. Both parties are being played. It's all satanic. Thank you, at Soul Winners. I don't want y'all lost. Because when the order changes to this degree, God got to step in just like he did Noah. There's a boat being built. There's a promise that Jesus made. Where I go, hallelujah, I go to prepare a place for you not made by hand. A new heaven, a new earth. They have cracked this thing out literally. And our sons and daughters, think about what I'm saying. This is so deep. Wrap your mind around this. Our sons and daughters, that stuff is in their BLOOD stream. Look, this is about the 4th generation of this crap. It's in the veins. It's in the AND backwards. It's in the AND backwards of the kids that you and I are birthing. If you laid down with a man or a woman who was using that stuff, it goes from one generation to another. This is the work of a snake. If I can think this through, and you got the federal government got this intel 10 years ago, how come they didn't do nothing? Because they didn't want to do nothing, in my humble opinion, allegedly. The plan was to now, it was a now moment. For such a time as this, everything's coming together. One world system, one world government, one world economic system, one world political system, one world church, everything. And now Satan is grabbing power from the street. He's grabbing the power from the street gangs. Those who went decades making millions upon millions, homies dying, all that. And now Satan's like, you know what? I utilized you so I could, in the future, lock you down. You understand what I'm saying? So please, think this through before you make a comment, baby. Because look, this thing is deeper than what you think. Don't get so caught up in Trump that you can't see what I'm talking about. All right?
And I'm telling you, it's about to go down. And this justifies moving in more and more. When I told you guys in this video, at some point, we're going to have the army on the streets. And I'm going to play that for you in a second. How many treatment centers were open? Millions of dollars since 1971. Again, how many people lost their lives? Died, right? Mothers and fathers' hearts bleeding, going to funerals one after another. And the gangs, right? Keep doing it. Somebody step up and do it. In this video, I'm going to show you, they had schedules, people. They had schedules. They had an operation. Do you understand what I'm telling you? They had an operation of schedules. It was very well organized. And trust me, the police knew. Over 10 years of data, it don't take that long to get rid of stuff. I'm telling y'all. Satan wanted blood on both sides. He wanted loyalty on both sides. And now he's taking away all the power. Satan don't play fair. He will give you everything. But at the end, you go down. You just don't know when your time is coming. That's just the way it goes, baby. That's the way it goes. Now, I'll probably get back to this. Let me play this for you guys. This is earlier. Listen to what I said, and then I'm going to show you what went down. Check this out. So how did we get here? Well, the news is going to ramp that thing up. Oh, 6:30 Friday night. National Guards were going, storming in the south side of Chicago or west side of Chicago after such and such a game, and National Guard got wounded. That's all it's gonna take. And trust me, timestamp this video. I believe that commentator on YouTube is right. And it makes a lot of sense. And as I watch these things, and I just happened to catch this. I dropped off my brother at the airport, and I just chilled for a while, watching a few videos. I'm like, Chris, you know what? Trump is back on that Eye on Chicago thing. Trump is back on that Eye on Chicago thing again. And you notice that when Trump says something, you give it about maybe 5 days to 2 weeks, then voila, it's here. So let's just look into the future, shall we? I can imagine by the 10th of October, we can very well have Trump classify the gangs as the terrorist.
So I meant to say the 10th of November. So check it out.
Like he classified as people. And in my mind, because I grew up in the city, this gang thing could have been squashed a long time ago. I worked 19 years in security, where I worked many times with the police officer. I had been in the 911 center. I've told this story before. They have monitors the size of my car. They can see their cameras there. They have a few 911 centers in Chicago. And that's what they do. They sit there at the monitor and they monitor information and collect data. They know the car that you drive, what time you get up, where you live, who you sold the drugs to, who you sold the drugs to, how long you've been selling the drugs, where you might get it from. Baby, look, what I'm trying to tell you is that if you don't know, you don't know. But I know. And what I'm getting at is that this drug thing, not only in Chicago, but I believe throughout the United States, it was allowed to get out of hand for such a time as this.
For such a time as this.
The drugs were allowed to get to this point for such a time as this. And it's a setup. But many people don't understand how the powers work. They deal with future past. And they might make a plan in 2021 to enact in 2025. And because I've been decoding since I was a teenager, I learned future past. And I see it happening. And so I'm going to answer my own question. Trump is talking about Chicago because Chicago has a big gang footprint. And so does LA and San Francisco.
And Philly. And Philadelphia.
Beware. They are going to, I believe, eventually bring an army. So, translated, they allowed for these cities to get out of hand so they could fulfill the 1984. That is, to have the army on the streets.
George Orwell, 84. Now this started in Philly, people. Philly. Let's look at something. What number state is Philadelphia in the United States? Philadelphia. They number 1, 2, 3. Second state. Isn't that something? The second state. So already hit Philadelphia. What is the first state in the Union, United States? Delaware. Joe Biden.
And in this video, I showed the video where the sweep was also in Delaware, and Delaware was our first state. So yeah, they're not playing. They're gonna gut out everything that allegedly they allowed to go happen. That's right, because now they're gonna go for power, and they don't want any resistance from these gangs. You understand? So they're gonna take them off the streets. That's what it's about, which is a beautiful thing. But I want you to understand the game. When you take power, you gain power. Think about what I'm saying.
But yeah, they hit Philly, people.
Now watch this. This is gonna blow your mind. Watch this. I literally predicted what was gonna transpire and had no idea. They just did the biggest drug bust in that state ever. Watch.
So I'm not gonna run the story because again, I didn't get paid. So I'm gonna go up here. I want you to understand. Let's go here.
Run an operation like this big and this smooth without the government knowing. Now you fill in the blank as to why they allowed it to happen, okay? No damn accountability. So this is a Republican and a Democratic problem. It ain't that Joe Biden didn't have a spine and other presidents before that. The Antichrist has been here. The Antichrist system is here. They did not want, they wanted the thing to build. They get used to it, poison people, let the Undertaker become millionaires, push the rap game, glorify drugs and guns. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if we don't get it in your veins and get it in your head, now you're acting a fool and get arrested. And now your first baby is laying up in prison at 17, 18 years old through association. People, this is how, this devil, he's just disgusting. God gotta come get us. He got to. Jesus gotta come get us. Because it's a setup, not just for them, for us. They're gonna control us. They're gonna push legislation in terms of GUNS, ammo, all that. Watch what I tell you.
Which means we should love and appreciate God more. Because look, we got through it, but some of our relatives did not. You understand? And now what they're gonna do, man, it's the 1984 George Orwell movie about to pop off. And they had to have this situation to do it. So once you understand the game.
And in Chicago, since I was a little boy, and I'm 67. Come on, man, stop. Stop, y'all, stop. Stop. Put it in the chat if you lost a loved one. Put it in the chat if you was working in your business and somebody came up in there, hi, trying to rip you off, threatening your life. People, this thing was planned. It was planned. America is the architect of the T word. Word I can't say. America is the architect of the T word. Her hands are bloody. Straight up, man.
All right, now we're gonna go to 2230 point. Listen to this here.
Come out smelling like a rose. But people, I'm telling you, I will hooray the effort that they got it done, but you gotta put it in perspective, in my humble opinion. People have given their lives. They know if you got 1,000 people and you expose them to these drugs and stuff like that, they know over 10%, maybe more, will get hooked. You remember the movies back in the day, New Jack City and all that? They just put that mess out there. Then what they do, they uplifted the woman in the minority community so she would rebel against her man. Tell her man he can't father his children in the projects as long as she getting government assistance. Do you understand the game? So the next generation can do what? Sell this poison. This was all set up, baby. So yeah, I will put, you already saw my video, I put it out there. I don't mean no harm. Like I told you, we just rescued a family member. Thank God, we just rescued a family member yesterday, and hopefully he get the right rehab and get himself together and stay focused. We're gonna be monitoring his progress. But baby, it hits all families. I've had family members die with this stuff. You know, ain't nothing worse than you raise a child and they get older and you finally meet them after you thought they was gone somewhere, and they come back and they don't even know who you are because their fallacies, their brain is gone. You understand? The cell walls have just been damaged to a degree. You don't even know they don't even know who you are. Put it in the chat, you know what I'm talking about. There are mothers and fathers still grieving over this thing where they promised what? What did they promise? They promised the war on drugs way back in the day. And it never made any headway. It just got worse.
Because the war was on us. Please understand, it was on us. Some folks don't believe there's a devil, but if you do, and you understand the Garden of Eden story, you can understand just how deception is. You say one thing, do another. You mask it and parade it around as something good, but it's really evil. So they said they're going to have a war on this thing. They didn't accomplish it. But again, look at the big cities. Only in concentrated areas of these cities was this stuff going on. That thing was monitored. That thing was set up. And now this makes it easy strategically for the police to go in there and gut them out. You understand? They monitored this thing for generations, y'all. Some folks ain't gonna get it, but hey, it is what it is. These are the last days. I hope you make it to heaven. I pray I make it there. I'm trying to do my best to try to save souls and bring revelation. Information, revelation, through prayer, salvation. God bless. God bless America. God bless the world.